Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us today for the next in our series of Learning at Lunch webinars hosted by the Assistive Technology Advocacy Center at Disability Rights New Jersey. Today's topic is smart home technology. Glad you could spend some time with us today. My name is Mike Murata. I'm the director of the ATAC program. You'll only hear from me for a couple minutes, and then we'll have our speaker jump on and share the content for our webinar today. Just some quick housekeeping as we get started. As you came into the webinar, your microphone should have been muted. If for some reason it didn't, that's okay. If you could take a minute when you get in and settled to mute your microphone so that we don't hear any background noise from your room that you're sitting in right now. If you're concerned that your bandwidth might be an issue, I would suggest turning your video off as well. That was another one that should have come on automatically off, but for some reason it might have triggered back on. And that will help with the signal coming back to you. We are recording this session, so you'll be able to go back and review it later. And what we'll do is once that video recording is posted online, we will send you a follow-up email so that you know where the video lives. And just like that, somebody pops on with some sound. All right.
Enjoy your weekend and
oh, look at this.
enjoy your holiday on Monday. Right? You too. Have a good one.
All right. So as we go through, sorry, I got thrown off by that. Somebody's microphone's on, and I'm not sure who, but I'll fix it in a second. As we go through, there is a chat window at the bottom. So if you're on a computer or even on your iPad, one of the buttons as a choice will be for a chat window. You'll be able to post comments, ideas, questions, strategies, whatever you want to do. And also Fred will leave some time at the end and we can take some questions at the end as well. So anything you have, throw it out there and we will address it at some point during the webinar. A couple other quick little housekeeping things. We will give you a certificate of attendance. So if you want to quickly jot down this web link, there is a survey up online that you can fill out. It is bit.ly/AT-demo-survey, and that will take you to the survey. And when I have that information completed from you, I can forward out to you a certificate from today so that you get the hours of attendance for this for today. Two of our upcoming webinars that we're very excited about, so keep these in mind, maybe pencil them into your calendar. On June 15th, we'll be doing a webinar on robotics for students with significant disabilities. And we'll have a group of professionals from the A. Harry Moore School in Jersey City coming to present for us. And then our July webinar will be all about built-in accessibility features of mobile devices. And that one will be me. I will do that one. That will be on July 13th. So hopefully you can join us for a couple of those. You will get links to those to register for them in a follow-up email as well. So if you're interested in those, the links will show up for that. One last thing before I turn it over to Fred. If you're interested in learning more about assistive technology, the ATAC is hosting an Assistive Technology Summit, which will happen in September 19th, and registration is open now. The ticket cost is $69 for the day, a full day of assistive technology workshops and networking and learning. The web address for that information is bit.ly/NJATS17. All right, and with that, I will stop talking and I will turn it over to Fred. I'm going to let Fred introduce himself. I figure he has that kind of as part of the flow of what he's going to do. So I'll let Fred take over the screen and take over the webinar. So Fred, thanks for being here today.
Fantastic. Thanks a lot, Mike. Let's see. Go ahead and see if I can share my screen. I'm very excited to talk to you guys today because we have been working feverishly to add more smart home technology to the Technology Lending Center so that people can get a chance to actually try it out before they put out the money. Because, in the end, you really want to be able to try things out before you say, okay, this is definitely going to help me or this is definitely worth it. Mike, just to let you know, when I'm clicking on share screen, it says you cannot start shares while the other participant is sharing. So I
There
think
you go. Try that. I just relinquished control.
Okay, there you go. All right. Share screen.
There you go.
Okay,
Now
cool.
we got you.
First, I should say, my name is Fred Chang. I'm the Director of Assistive Technology Services at Advancing Opportunities. One of the reasons we're talking to you today is because we want to help people to be able to access and benefit from assistive technology. And we know that you need to know about what's out there in order to really start the whole process of exploring what's out there. We provide support in a few different ways. So one way is through our website. And just to go there briefly while we're talking here today, the AssistiveTechnologyCenter.org is the website, and there's different information here on the website. What I really wanted to point out today was the YouTube channel link. So up in the upper right, there's a link to YouTube. If I click on that, it's going to take us to our YouTube channel. Really, we have a very particular purpose for this YouTube channel. This is not a YouTube channel of webinars. You're not going to find any webinars on here. This is really a way for people to see examples of people with disabilities using different kinds of assistive technology and talking about what a difference it makes in their lives. Generally, these are short videos, right? 3 to 5 minutes. And believe it or not, let's see, what do we have here? There we go, smart home. So a whole playlist of videos, people with disabilities using smart home technology to help them to be more independent at home. So let me head back to my little presentation. So if I am going to explore it and learn about it, well, you know, what's the next step? One of the other ways that we provide support is through a service called the Technology Lending Center. This is funded through the Assistive Technology Act, and this gives people a chance to actually try things out. So we have things like the Amazon Echo, Samsung Smart Things, Hue light bulbs, different kinds of the portable kinds of smart home technology, so that you can actually borrow it for 4 to 6 weeks at a time to see whether or not you think it's going to work. And of course, the other kind of support we provide is actual evaluations and training. Not so relevant to smart home tech, but for different kinds of support. Because we do work with people in all settings. We work with schools. We work with people at work, or people who are learning to go to work. But then today we're really going to talk about home. What are the things that people need to help them to be more independent at home? And that's where I wanted to talk about a little bit about how when people talk about smart home technology, we're really talking about AT for independent living. So it's not just Amazon Echo. I want to tell you that being independent at home is much broader than that. So while we're going to focus on the latest smart home tech, we are going to put it in context, talk about some of the other things that help people to be independent at home. Part of that is accessibility, having an accessible home, putting in universal design features, things that are useful to anyone, make it easier to be able to be independent. Daily living, technology that helps with daily tasks. Part of that might be, you might think of it as part of that, environmental controls. This is something that people will now use the word smart home to describe what you might think of as environmental controls. Things that help you control TV, stereo, the lights, doors, anything like that. And finally, another part of what I might consider smart home technology or AT that helps with independence are sensors. This is becoming a part of smart home. Sensors on doors, motion sensors, sensors that sense whether water is running, basically things that make the central server aware of what is happening so that certain things can automatically be triggered. Okay. So accessibility, the first most basic part of being able to be independent at home. So we do evaluations to help people figure out how to make their homes accessible. That's part of the service that we provide. Another part to accessibility is universal design. So universal design is how can we make a product usable by the greatest number of people. So I'll just a quick example here. You see on the left is actually a shower control, right? But instead of a handle where you have to be able to adjust the amount and the temperature, you set the temperature once and then you just press a button. And that's it. On the right is an example of a bath, not a bath, but a washing your hands. If you want to be able to wash your hands, you know, in your public restrooms you have sensors, so when you put your hand close to the faucet, it automatically turns on. Well, there are things like that available for home too. And you can also, of course, have the lotion or soap dispensers that are also motion activated. Daily living. It's another area that people can get different kinds of devices to help them to be more independent at home. Let's say you want to be able to call someone easily. You don't want necessarily to have a service that has monthly fees, like, you know, those things that you wear, a little pendant that you wear, you press it to call a call center if you're having problems, you're having trouble, you want some help. Well, there are products that don't have monthly fees that allow you to simply press a pendant and have an automatic phone call be made to your family and friends. Okay? These are things that are available through the Technology Lending Center. And I'm going to emphasize this throughout the presentation. You see something you're interested in, say, hey, maybe I could use that. Why not borrow it first, try it out, see if it really does work for you. Being able to make phone calls, okay, adapted phones. These things can be one touch. So if you have someone who has trouble dialing a phone, you can have speed dial, right? A very simple kind of phone. Again, available through the Technology Lending Center. Environmental controls. We're gonna be getting into the use of some of the more modern, complex kind of environmental controls that we think of as smart home, but there still are the simple kind. The simple kind where you simply have one switch that does one thing. So if you want to be able to just change the channels on the TV with one switch, you know, there are products that'll just do that. Another reason to think about other choices than just the Amazon Echo or the Google Home. Maybe you use a power wheelchair and you have a control that's accessible to you already, a joystick. So you know what? A lot of power wheelchairs do have the possibility of either sending infrared signals, which is what you use, for example, to control your TV, or Bluetooth signals. So for example, to be able to move the pointer on the screen to be like a mouse on a computer. So there are reasons why it makes sense to look at things other than just the things that you see on TV, the latest things, when it comes to controlling your home and being independent at home. But I do want to make most of this presentation about the newest things because that's what people are interested in, and we want to see how can we use these things? How can we make use of this to help people with disabilities to be independent as possible in the home? So smart speakers, that's what we call things like the Amazon Echo and the Google Home. Mostly people are using these to, first of all, access their own information and media. So for example, to be able to play music and videos, to read books out loud to themselves, okay? So let me give a quick example. Let me switch here to video so that you can see some examples of being able to, how exactly this would work. Let's see. So let me switch to, oh, wait a second, Mike.
Yeah, Fred.
I want to switch to myself as being the main screen.
Okay, so stop sharing your screen and you will be the active speaker. You'll fill the screen.
Okay, all right, there we go. Thanks. Thanks for that reminder.
There you go. Hey, no problem.
Okay, so here I am. I'm here with my Amazon Echo, right? If I want to do some simple kinds of access to information, you know, I think you've seen a lot of this, so I'm not going to do a lot of demonstration of things that people have seen. But, people want to be able to know what the weather is. So they might say, Alexa, what's the weather today? Oh. Alexa, what's the weather today?
Currently, in Morrisville, it's 57 degrees with cloudy skies. Today, you can expect rainy weather with a high of 63 degrees and a low of 57 degrees.
But there are more interesting things you can do with the Amazon Echo too. So, for example, sometimes it's information that people are looking for, easy access to information. So maybe you want to know, if you're cooking in the kitchen, you want to be able to do a conversion and say, Alexa, how many ounces are there in 2 cups? Yep. Alexa, how many ounces are there in 2 cups?
2 cups is 16 fluid ounces.
Okay, so simple conversions. Maybe you have a child who's doing homework and they just need to know how to spell something. Or, in our case, we're thinking about people with disabilities. We definitely work with people with learning disabilities who deal with spelling. I just want to know, Alexa, how do you spell embarrassment?
Sorry, it looks like I didn't hear you correctly.
Sorry.
Please try again.
It seems to be having trouble with the microphone here. Alexa, how do you spell embarrassment?
Embarrassment is spelled E-M-B-A-R-R-A-S-S-M-E-N-T.
There you go. That's what I'm feeling when this thing is not responding to me. I'm a little bit embarrassed. So there are a lot of normal everyday things that you might want to do by voice instead of having to use a computer, which might involve using the mouse or the keyboard. And you can do very easily just by using your voice. Then we also talked about playing media. So the Amazon Echo is an audio-only device. It doesn't have a screen. It is their new Amazon Show, which also has a screen which can actually play YouTube videos and other kinds of video. But for example, if we want to just have it play music, this is something that people find very useful with the Amazon Echo. Alexa, play the Beatles. Alexa, play the Beatles.
Shuffling songs by the Beatles.
Alexa, stop. So those kind of everyday things are very helpful when it comes to just getting information, just everyday life kinds of activities. Okay, you can also use it to read you a book. So I could say to Alexa, let's see, Alexa, read me a book.
Getting your book from Audible. Resuming Mansfield Park. There's 14 hours, 26 minutes left in the book.
This is Audible.
Mansfield Park by Jane Austen.
Okay, well, we won't listen for the next 14 hours here. Alexa,
unabridged.
Stop. And of course, all kinds of entertainment. People find it very entertaining to talk to Alexa and have her respond to different things. And of course, the Alexa, the Amazon Echo, and tools like that are things that can be loaned through the Technology Lending Center. You can do other more complex things. They call these skills, adding skills to the Amazon Echo. Browse TED Talks. Get information about historical information, this day in history. Find out local movie times. Find out what's playing at your local movie theater when. Okay. Now, people have seen a lot of those kind of examples. That's how most people think about the smart speakers, okay, whether we're talking about the Amazon Echo or the Google Home. People have also started to think about it and started to use more of what we would call true smart home technology. Okay, being able to control things, right? Usually, Being able to control things means adding features, meaning buying more things. Okay? So this is where you really have to think about what it is that I want to control. Because if you want to control just one thing or two things, you might just buy those one or two things. Okay? So for example, we've worked with some people with disabilities, physical disabilities, such that they have aides who help them out in the morning as far as getting up, getting dressed, but they can't open the door for their aide. So then it becomes a question of, okay, do they give their aide a key? What do they do? So we want people to be safe. It is possible to get a remote for your door lock, just to be able to remotely unlock your door. Okay? You can also get door locks that have a code. Right? So you actually can give someone a temporary code that you can reassign when your aid changes, okay, when the aid no longer works for you. Okay? You know, we've looked at using things like the Amazon Echo for unlocking your door, but there's a little bit of a problem there. There's right now, these smart speakers, they don't recognize who's talking to it. They just know that someone is talking to it. So they will respond to anyone who talks to it. So there's a funny video on the internet of a guy whose neighbor unlocks his front door by walking up to the house outside and says, you know, Alexa, unlock the door. Because he has one of those special locks that was hooked up. So since that time, the companies that make electronic door locks have made it so that these smart speakers cannot unlock the door. They basically have blocked that out. So that's something that right now you can't do using something like the Amazon Echo. But I'm sure that is coming because what's coming down the line, we'll talk about this a little bit later, is these smart speakers recognizing individuals, knowing who you are when you talk to it. And that will open up a few different features. If you want to just be able to control the lights, you know, maybe you're just going to get some Philips Hue bulbs along with a hub. You can start out with a little starter pack, and that's very simple. It doesn't make things very complicated. Okay. Controlling the TV is a little bit more complicated. This we have a few different options, and here I'm going to say this with pretty much every topic I talk about. Anything I tell you right now will be different in 6 months. Smart home technology is changing so fast that this will certainly change. But I want to tell you what we can do right now. So right now, for example, the Amazon Fire Stick is a different accessory from the Amazon Echo. You can get an Amazon Echo, $39. You could also get an Amazon Fire Stick separately for $39. But the Fire Stick does have Alexa built in, the latest versions of the Fire Stick. Okay. But you'll notice if you look at the little picture of the Fire Stick I have, it's basically a little handheld remote, that there is a microphone button near the top. So right now, you do need to press the button to issue a command through the Fire Stick. Okay. But since it has Alexa built in, you not only can use it to be able to control the TV, but you can also use it to ask anything that you would normally ask Alexa. Okay. Interestingly enough, there are a few features which it somehow does not have, like timers. It's very strange why they have Alexa built in, but they've somehow taken out certain features. I do not understand why that would be true. But I want to show you a little bit of an example. I don't have a TV with me, so I just took a little video from the internet. You'll find plenty of these to share with you guys about using the Fire Stick and what that's like. It's just about a minute long, so let me just share this with you guys.
Echo. So that's what I want to do today. I want to show you the capabilities of what Alexa can do on the Fire TV Stick in comparison to the Amazon Echo Dot. So let's get started. First off, obviously Alexa on the Fire TV can control your TV. So let's just demo some of that. Comedies. So you can search by genre, which is really nice. This is kind of like how it works on the Apple TV or on the Roku. You can use basic voice commands to find genres of movies. What's also nice, though, is you can limit down your selection to Prime movies. So movies that are free if you have a Prime subscription with Amazon. So let's try that. Prime comedies. Now, all of the movie results I get back should be movies that I should be able to watch for free since I'm a Prime member. So let's see if this first one is Prime. It should be. Yep, it is Prime. So I can go ahead and it's on Amazon Prime.
Okay, so there's a little example. Oops.
Hey, everyone.
Sorry.
Today I want to review.
Sorry, I'm just trying to go to the next slide. Of using the Fire Stick, okay? But you, like I said, you still have to press the microphone button. There are ways of making that easier. We could certainly have made in the past little adaptations to make it easier to press a small button on a remote. And like I said, this is one of those things that I know will change within 6 months. But right now, if you're looking for something to use, just use your voice. With the Fire Stick, you will have to press the microphone button. On the other hand, with the Google Home, it is possible to use the Google Home and Chromecast to actually work together to be completely hands-free. Okay. Now, looking at the Google Home versus the Amazon Echo, as far as smart speakers go, you should know that Amazon Echo has been out for longer, right? It's been out for a couple of years now. So there are a lot of things that the Amazon Echo can control. Google Home, it's been a relatively short period of time, so they haven't built up all those integrations. And so, for example, right now, to control the TV, they're limited to Netflix and YouTube. So you can control Netflix and YouTube using your voice through Google Home and a Chromecast, but you can't control just anything. But let's see a little example of that, because I think that'll give you a little bit of a sense, too, of what it's like to try to use your voice to control the TV.
Everyone, there's a better way to shop for furniture. Rainmore and Flanagan.
Sorry, commercial, because I am taking this from YouTube.
To get started in playing your YouTube videos to the Chromecast, all you need to do is name a channel, a video, a song, and then followed by the name of the Chromecast. Play Tech with Brett 101 Things to Ask Google Home on Chromecast Ultra.
Sure, playing Tech with Brett 101 Things to Ask Google Home from YouTube on Chromecast Ultra.
To pause the video, all you need to do is activate the home. Pause. Once you start playing on one device, your next command will continue to control that device that you're.
Okay, so I just want to talk about that a little bit. Now, you'll notice that he did touch the Google Home, but that's just an option with Google Home. That is not required. So he could have said, okay, Google, or hey, Google, to wake up Google Home, to get it to listen to him, to know that he wants to issue a command. But in some ways, if you are mobile, if you do have the use of your hands, this can be handy, because some people find it annoying to issue the verbal command, okay, Google, hey, Google. And so if you're close to it, you can just tap it, and it'll start to listen to you. Now, what did he do, and what's kind of nice about using verbal commands, right? He was able to play a YouTube video just by knowing the name of it. So he knew the name of the YouTube video. And so that's fairly sophisticated. To be able to have integration with the channel, you could think of it that way, it's a YouTube, so that you don't have to say, you don't have to try to use your voice to navigate a web page. You can go directly to what you want. Let me show one more example that shows this kind of integration related to playing movies and TV episodes. Okay, this is through Netflix.
To control Netflix, all you need to say is play whatever movie you would like from Netflix on the TV. Play The Jungle Book from Netflix on Chromecast Ultra.
Okay, The Jungle Book from Netflix. Playing on Chromecast Ultra.
Skip to 30 minutes. You can also turn on subtitles. Turn on subtitles. Turn on French subtitles.
That language isn't available for this program.
Turn off captions. Play Sarah and Duck from Netflix on Chromecast Ultra.
All right, Sarah and Duck from Netflix. Playing on Chromecast Ultra.
Play next episode. Stop.
Okay, so you saw there how he was able to control fairly fluidly what he wanted to see simply by saying it. Now you still have to have a little bit of a script, play this program, whatever, from Netflix or from whatever it is on Chromecast, right? So there's still some memory involved there to know the script. My guess is that as time goes on, there will be more artificial intelligence built in to be able to parse what people are saying. People will ask for things in different ways. But at least at the beginning, the verbal commands have to be somewhat scripted. So right now, there definitely is, if you're looking at controlling the TV, there definitely is more, excuse me, more choices you're going to have with the Amazon Fire Stick than using the Google Home and Chromecast, because Amazon has a head start. But you just know Google will catch up. There will be more in the future. Now, if you want to control more than just what the Fire Stick gives you access to, there are things called universal remotes. Harmony Hub is the most popular, best known option here. It is more complex, so it definitely requires more setup. So you definitely want to have somebody with some technical chops, someone who likes to play with technology in helping you set it up. But the nice thing about it, we've mostly talked about the smart speakers as a way of doing things with your voice. And why is that relevant to people with disabilities? Well, because if I have any trouble with using my hands, then your voice gives you another option. But there certainly are people for whom using their voice is not really an option, and for which the Amazon Echo does not work very well. I will say that if someone does not have good use of their voice, but they use a communication device, there are plenty of videos on the YouTube of people using communication devices to control the Amazon Echo, because it's perfect, because the communication device speaks perfectly clearly and very consistently. So you absolutely can use those to control the Amazon Echo. But if somebody does not have a very clear voice and is a scanning user, it is possible to use the Harmony Hub, which has a companion app, and scan choices on an iOS device, okay, on something like an iPhone or an iPad. Okay. Again, this is fairly complex, but we do have the Harmony Hub, and we have iPads and well, we don't lend out iPhones because that's a whole phone, but we do have portable devices to be able to lend out so that people can try things out. Let me show you a quick example of using, this is actually not scanning because I didn't want to take the time to demonstrate that, but this is using the Amazon Echo to control through using the Harmony Hub to control the television. So you can use voice control to do more than just what the Fire Stick could do. So let me just show this little short example.
The lowest pound or your money back.
Sorry about that. Other ad.
Turn on TV.
Okay.
Alexa, turn on Fox.
Okay.
Alexa, turn on NBC.
Okay.
Alexa, turn on Apple TV.
Okay.
Alexa, turn on PS3.
Okay.
Alexa, turn off TV.
Okay.
All right, so let me talk through that a little bit. So a lot of what he was doing might seem similar to what you would do through the Fire TV. Using voice controls, okay, to be able to say what you want to watch, for example. But first of all, you'll notice that he didn't press a button, right? He's doing it entirely through the Echo. Second thing is the Samsung Harmony Hub can control other things, right? Let's see, I want to show an actual picture. Do I have the actual picture? No, I don't have the actual picture of it. But the Harmony Hub is basically a little box, which looks like a little box, and you put it on the near your TV. It's an infrared blaster, meaning that part of its job is to send out infrared signals in all directions. And so it can control anything that has an infrared remote. So for example, yes, it can control your TV, but it can also control your DVD player, which has an infrared remote, right? It can control any device. You saw it was turned on the PS3. So it can turn that on. He's not using it to play on the PS3, but you could turn it on and off. But it also hooks up to Wi-Fi, okay? So that was, sorry, you kind of went past my little section there. That was talking about the Harmony Hub, and there's a little picture of it. That shows a little picture of how it's a little black box that's sending out signals. Now, if people want to be able to control more things, that's usually where you get into more of a smart thing hub, right? So one of the more popular smart home controllers is the Samsung Smart Things Hub. There you're getting into lights, being able to control electrical outlets. You know, think of Christmas lights, things that you plug in, and control your thermostat, right? So you control a lot of different things using the Smart Things Hub. So again, to control more things, you generally have to buy add-ons to control more things. Another area beyond just being able to control things is sensors. Sensors that actually know what's happening in the real world. And this is where we definitely get into the smart in smart homes. Because if the technology can be aware of what's happening in the real world, then it can react to it. You can program it to do things. So for example, if you walk into a room, that it automatically triggers the lights. Or if you're simply coming home, that it turns on the lights. Right? You can have door sensors, and people sometimes think of door sensors for outside doors, but you can use a door sensor on anything that moves. So for example, on a cabinet, if you want to be able to know whether or not someone is accessing their meds, you can put their meds in a specific cabinet. And so when they open that cabinet, at least you know that they've gone to that cabinet. Now, you don't necessarily know whether or not they've taken their medications, but you know that they've gone to that cabinet. There are medication dispensers. That's the other thing that can be trialed, that actually automatically dispense medications at certain times. It's a whole other discussion. But that also has to do with daily living and being able to be independent at home. You could put a door sensor on a gate on the outside to know that someone is coming, to be able to get ready if you need some time to get ready. Okay? So there are lots of uses for sensors. There are other kinds of sensors than just door sensors, water or temperature sensors, right? So you can know and get advanced notice if there's a leak. Even if you're not home, you can sense it and send a signal to your smartphone. Motion sensors can be used to simply turn lights on, okay? They're a little bit of advice. You'll see lots of videos of people using motion sensors to turn lights on in a room. Then they're just sitting in the room, then after a certain amount of time, the lights go off. So you might want to use your motion sensor just to turn lights on, but not turn them off. Use some other way of turning them off. Because this technology is smart, you can set up rules. So I can set up a rule to turn outside lights on at night when there's motion. Okay? Or let's say I get up in the middle of the night and there are trip hazards. Maybe we're worried about someone falling. Maybe it automatically turns on the lights but dim. So it's smart because it knows what time it is. And you've told it. Of course, this requires a little bit of getting to know how to use the little apps that come with the hubs and programming, giving it a little action item. So, okay, if it's after 10 o'clock and you sense motion out of the bed, then turn these lights on at 20%, either until someone turns them off or for a certain set amount of time. So that's really where we start getting into what I consider to be smart. Another area that gets into what I think of as smart is cameras, doorbells that have cameras. Sometimes you want to be able to see what's happening outside. Okay? So the Ring doorbell is one example of these. This is something that's pretty commonly out there right now. It's basically a doorbell that has a camera built in. So you can ring the doorbell and then see who's there at the door without having to go to the door. You can see it in a video on your smartphone. Okay? You can even see it if you're not home. And the person doesn't even need to ring the doorbell for the video to be taken. It can be set so that if there's motion, that it takes a little video and immediately alerts you that there's some motion at the front of your door. Okay? No matter where you are. Again, you can have this be connected to your smartphone so that you can see a video from elsewhere. Maybe you want to be able to monitor what's happening in the backyard. Maybe if somebody has a mobility impairment, it's difficult for them to get to a place where they can see. They can have a camera set up to monitor the dog that's in the backyard or the kids or whatever they want to monitor. I want to show one more video because when it comes to smart home, this is something, again, that I think that things are going to grow over time. There's going to be more that we can do to help people with disabilities to live more independently. Right now, there are a lot of people who live in group homes. Well, why do they live in a group home? Why is that? Well, sometimes it's because you're not sure, parents are sometimes unsure, others are not sure that they can live independently and be safe. That's a concern of safety. Okay, so let's think about that. Why do we think they might not be safe? What is it that might happen? What is it that they're going to do that they think is not safe? Might they do something in the kitchen? Maybe they might fall. Maybe they'll answer the door and not know how to interact with someone who's coming to the door. I mean, what is it? Can we support them without necessarily having a person who's there? Okay, is there a way to do that? Can we give people greater dignity that way? Let me just show a little video that kind of shows that idea for somebody who's living in an apartment on their own.
There's sensors all over this apartment, and if a door opens, it'll let me know that a door opens when I'm not expecting the door to open. And it respects his privacy that allows me that peace of mind to know that he is moving around and everything's well.
David, close and lock your front door.
The verbal prompting, just basically what we did was we looked at the different areas in his routine that he needed to be prompted on. And we modeled the routine as kind of his daily schedule around the prompting.
I said, David, that's out. Sit back on.
Yeah.
David, wake up. David, fix my breakfast.
The other piece is that I can track him through the computer, through the routine, whether I know it's prompting him or not. So if I get the wheelies in the morning, like, has he started his breakfast yet? I can log in without having to aggravate him and annoy him with phone calls.
Okay, so that's a little clip. And there I wanted to emphasize that this came from our YouTube channel. So this is in the smart home section. Just showing you a little bit about what's possible. And that's part of what we want to do through our YouTube channel, just to make people aware of what's possible. Okay. So what did we see there? What kind of technology was that? It really is not that complicated. It's just a matter of putting it together in a way that's smart. So door sensors, sensors on his bed, to know when he's gotten up. Excuse me. Door sensors at the kitchen to know if he's in the kitchen area. And a speaker that can actually play different reminders. I don't know if you guys caught that. He was, when he opens the front door, there's a little reminder to lock your door. Okay, so there's a safety issue. He's, maybe he forgets to lock his door when he comes into his apartment. So we say, okay, well, how can we remind him without having to have a person who's there, right? Well, each time he opens his front door, there's a little audio reminder, David, please lock your front door. So I know that this technology will also be developing, also get more sophisticated. But I wanted to include that, and hopefully you have a little broader sense of what we mean, what is possible when we say smart home technology. It's not just the Amazon Echo, it's not just Google Home. It really is a lot of different things that can be in the home to help people to live more independently. Any of the things that you've seen here today, if they're portable at all, so they're not like in the wall, then they can be borrowed through the Technology Lending Center. And I encourage you to reach out to us. I will say that the website, if I go to it briefly, we do have a section for the Technology Lending Center. If you go to the Technology Lending Center, you'll see different categories. We don't have a category called Smart Home, but there is a section called Daily Living, and there's also a section called Environmental Controls. You can see a representative sample of some of the technology that we have available on the website. I will say that not everything is on here. So if you don't see something here, but you're looking to borrow it, please give us a call. We may already have it. Or, we need to know that you're looking for it. So you need to let us know. Yes, this is something I would like to be able to try. It is, again, a free service supported by the Assistive Technology Act. So I want to encourage people to take advantage of it. Mike, at this point, I want to see I don't know if we have any questions that have been coming through.
Yeah, thanks very much, Fred. First of all, that was outstanding. I love talking about this topic. I think you were so right on when you say that this is going to be one of those areas of technology that could potentially change hourly as we move through our days. So it's exciting. It's great to kind of see where we're at and kind of imagine where this area could go, especially for using these tools to support people with disabilities. So as of this point, I don't see anything in the chat window yet, but here's the opportunity for anybody who's on the webinar with us. If you have a question that you've been holding on to, please feel free, drop it in the chat window. Fred and I can both see it, and we'd be happy to answer any of the questions that you have. And Fred, we'll leave your slide up for now, just so people can get down all the info.
Mike, I'm curious. Have you been getting questions about smart home stuff, and what are the things that what have people been interested in learning more about?
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of interest in it for sure. I mean, it was obvious because of the outpouring of interest in this webinar alone. I think what we're trying to get a sense is, people are purchasing these tools because in reality they're relatively inexpensive.
Right.
And they're purchasing them and kind of with the thought of, I imagine it's going to do everything. And then when they get it, it kind of goes to what you said before. There are some steps you need to do in order to kind of link these services together. And so I think that's been some of the hurdles that people have experienced with these tools, is that it's not as easy as just plugging Alexa into the wall.
Right.
And it just starts working. Well, it could start working technically, and just do things like some of the things you showed, or playing music, or doing those kinds of things. But it's some of those deeper kind of skills that you mentioned, and the idea of how to layer this into some of the other supports I need, that it's possible with quite a few of these tools. But like you said, it takes some planning, it takes some thought process, and it takes someone who's a tinkerer, someone who's willing to get in there and kind of figure out, well, how do I make this talk to this other thing?
Oh, I know one other thing I wanted, if we have a minute.
Yeah.
One other thing I didn't demonstrate, which was on my mind. There's a newer feature that's built into the Amazon Echo line of being able to essentially make phone calls.
Yes.
They want to make this more sophisticated even than it is right now. But they've built in, partially because they have the Echo Show, which is it's like the Amazon Echo but with a screen. But they've thought this through pretty well. They want to use the Echo Show for making video phone calls, which is cool, but they realize that they built in the communication technology to make phone calls. They might as well have the Echoes make phone calls too.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, if let me just stop sharing. Wait, how do I do that? Stop here. There we go. I'll get used to this. So for example, if I've got my Amazon Echo, and I want it to be able to, I want to make a phone call, I can call people, not just other people with an Amazon Echo. I can call anyone just with my voice, as long as they have the Alexa app on a smartphone. Okay. So what does that mean? Well, first of all, they need a smartphone. So I need to call people who have smartphones.
Mm-hmm.
They need to have an Amazon account, because in order to have the Alexa app, you have to sign in with an Amazon account. So Amazon is smart. So even if you don't buy an Echo, you've got to be able to have an Amazon account. That's not that hard, though. It's free, to set up an account. So when you turn on messaging, if you have the Echo yourself and you turn on the messaging feature, it'll ask, can I search your contacts list? And it'll search and show you the people who are already also have the Amazon Alexa app and have signed up for messaging. Okay. So Dave here in the Technology Lending Center, he's the person who, if you call the Technology Lending Center, he's the person who will answer. He's set up with it, so let me just give him a call. Alexa, call David Lamb.
Okay, David Lamb.
Uh-oh. Hey, Dave.
Hello?
Dave, it's Fred.
Hey, Fred. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How's it going in the Technology Lending Center?
It's going very well. We're loading out equipment as we speak.
Hey, that's good to hear. All right. Thanks a lot, Dave.
Yep, not a problem.
All right. Bye-bye. Okay. I know we only had a few minutes, but that was just kind of a fun thing. So I think it's a very cool feature, and I think it's something that will definitely be used a lot more.
Yeah, I think that is a great feature. And building on this idea of what we were talking about, Fred, about these things changing daily, I just read an article this morning that the Google Home is going to get that feature and allow you to call any phone.
Yes.
So I don't even know how, and you don't even need to have the app, just any phone is what they were talking about.
And for anyone who's interested in the technology, they're not using, we tested this out with turning off his Wi-Fi. So his phone was not on Wi-Fi. It was over the cellular network, but it is using cellular data. So not a phone call in the traditional sense, but it is using, kind of like Skype on your smartphone. Yeah. It's going to use your cellular data.
That's true. Good point. Excellent. Well, that was awesome. And hey, anytime we can get a little guest presentation in there too, a little bonus, that was good. Thank you. I haven't seen any questions pop up. That probably is a good sign. It means that you're giving tons of information for people. So if everybody's, let me just jump back over to my screen for 1 second, and I'll share the survey slide one more time before we let everybody go. So again, thank you for coming today. Thank you to Fred. That was outstanding. I love talking about this topic. Thank you, Fred. It was great info.
It was a lot of fun. Thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah, my pleasure. So again, thank you for attending today. If you want to get a certificate of attendance, please follow the link that's on the screen, which is bit.ly/ATDemoSurvey, and we will send out those certificates as soon as possible. The session today has been recorded, so what we'll do is I will process the video today and get that up on our ATAC YouTube channel and send a link to everyone so you can follow up and watch the video afterwards. So again, thanks everybody. I appreciate your time today. Fred, again, thank you for your time, and look forward to seeing you again soon in another webinar. Thanks very much. Have a good rest of the day.
Bye-bye.